What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how I installed this 12-piece rock light kit from Loyoled LED. This is a RGBW rock light kit, so you'll get the full red, the full green, the full blue, and then you'll get a solid white, unlike some other kits that don't have the white LEDs. Currently I have just a 4-piece kit installed on my Jeep, and it just doesn't have enough light or brightness to really do anything. This kit should be a lot brighter than the ones that I have now, just in the fact that there's 8 more rock lights in this kit. When installing rock lights, the placement is super important. You could have the most expensive lights in the world, and if you put them in the wrong spot, it's still not going to illuminate your wheel wells or underneath your Jeep. Since I have 12 lights, I'm going to put 1 in each wheel well. I'm going to put 2 under the front bumper, 1 under each door, and then I'm going to put 2 in the rear. For most of these rock lights, I'm going to try to use zip ties. I know it's not the most secure thing to do, but it's just so much quicker and it's a lot easier than drilling holes. So in this kit, you've got the controller, which has got the QR code on there for your Bluetooth app. I assume this is the antenna for the Bluetooth right here. Then you got your power and ground wire and the 12 connections for your lights. And these should be waterproof because there's a rubber gasket on them. And then you've got your rock light itself with the wire on it. It's got the male end to that connector. Then you've got your bolts and then your rubber mounts. This one, it comes with a flat mount and then a curved mount. So this one is going to be useful for the rear. So on the rear, we're going to be putting the rock light on the rear sway bar. So in order to wire these rock lights up, you're going to need some sort of a switch panel or just internal switch that you're going to use. On mine, this is the aux beam 8-gang switch panel. So this is the fuse box here, and then the switch panel itself is in the cab of the Jeep. So this here, I just drilled holes into my fuse box and mounted it right to the top. Excuse my wiring, it's a little bit messy. I've got big wires going to my subs and stuff and back. So in order to take that off, it's super easy. And then you've got these different spots where you can wire different things up. I've got like my lights up here wired to the first fuses because they are bigger, because they pull more power than the rock lights. The rock lights aren't going to pull that much power, so I'm going to wire them down to probably one of the 20 amp ones. So in order to wire up these lights, it's going to be super easy with this switch panel here. So right here is where I previously had my other wires connected for my old rock light. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take those out and put the new ones in. So that'll give power to this control box, and then all you have to do is mount up your rock lights and then connect all the rock lights to these connectors here. So once you've got a switch panel and fuse box installed, this is going to be super easy to put in the rock lights. All you have to do is find the places that you want to mount the lights and then run the wires up to the control module. It's really that simple. I'll try to do this quick so I don't bore you guys. So for here and back, I'm just gonna zip tie the rock lights to the sway bar. So the only thing you need to worry about when putting these on the sway bar is you need to watch out for over here where the shock is, because when the shock travels up, it could travel closer to the sway bar itself. So you're going to want to put your rock light in here somewhere. You don't want it right behind the shock. So in the front fender wells, I'm just gonna zip tie the rock light right here to the factory fender mount. It's not gonna be the prettiest, but it'll be really easy and I won't have to drill any holes. So I found the easiest way to get the wire up into the engine bay is to just go straight up behind the fender. There's a little slot that goes to like where the battery is, and you'll just be able to feed it right through there. And it'll come right out here on the top. Here under the door, I'm just gonna zip tie it right into the body of the Jeep. So back here I couldn't find that great of a spot, so I'm just gonna go right here to my rock rail. It might be a little bit visible from the outside, but I don't really have another option. Here on the front, I'm just going to mount the lights right here on the frame of the front bumper. I was going to do the sway bar, but I feel like it probably moves too much and it could mess up the wires or pull the wires too much. So I'm just going to go right here to the support. Alright, so last night I was running out of daylight, so I got everything done except for the rear wheel wells. Now, it looks like the wires aren't going to be able to reach all the way to the engine bay, so I'm going to have to mount the module, the control module, somewhere under the Jeep, so I'll have to try to figure that out. So to make this a little bit easier, I'm just going to go ahead and take the tire off. Here's the placement of my old rock light, and the light just didn't seem to reach very far because I think it just blasts right into the tire. I think this time I'm going to mount it up here. I kind of wanted to do it up here, but see, this is angled. This piece here is angled, and so is this one, so I feel like the light won't spread across the wheel well. I mean, I'll have to drill holes for this one, but I can always just change it later and paint over where I drilled through. So let's get to it. It's that simple to install the rock lights to a metal inner fender liner. You just get this rubber gasket up there, get your middle hole, then just shove the drill bit in there to hold it in place, and then you can drill your smaller holes for the sides. Then you just need to slide the bolts in and put the nut on the back. So I always like to keep a set of these push pins around because you never know when you're going to need them. See, in this kit, it wants you to put bolts in every, or self-tapping screws in every spot, but I found that you can just shove some of these Christmas tree clips in there and it works just as good. And if you need to remove it, you just break them off and then you can replace them. Alright, so the final step to this installation is the control module. Now, since all my wires aren't going to reach up to under the hood, I am going to mount it above the skid plate of the gas tank. This is my previous module right here. See, it's already wired up, so I'm just going to cut the wires off and then wire in my new module. But all I did is ran a power and a ground wire from my fuse box under the hood down to this module. So that's it for this video. All in all, it wasn't that hard of an install, it just took a little bit of time. If I inspired you to spend more money on your rig or you learned something, hit that like button. I'll see you again next time. Peace.